Hello friends, welcome to my new video. Today I will tell you the life story of the great mathematician Srinivas Ramanujam. So let's start the video. If you like the video, do subscribe our YouTube channel and keep supporting us. Thanks. The teacher was asking some simple questions in arithmetic. The class was learning the simple operation of division. When the teacher asked how many bananas would each boy get if 3 bananas were divided equally among 3 boys, someone had an answer, 1 each. 1000 bananas divided equally among 1000 boys, the answer was still the same one. The class was progressing, thus questions being asked by the teacher and answers being provided by the student. But there was a boy who had a question. If none of the bananas was divided among no boys, then how much would each boy get? The whole class burst into the laughter at what the students thought was a fast one or a silly question, but the teacher seemed to have been impressed. He took it upon himself to explain to the boys that what the student had asked was not a silly question, but rather a profound one. He was questioning the teacher about the concept of infinity, a concept that has baffled mathematicians for centuries until the Indian scientist Bhaskara had provided some light. He had proved that 0 divided by 0 was neither 0 nor 1, but infinity. The student was Srinivas Ramanujam, the genius who introduced the concept of 0 to the world. Ramanujam was born Erode in Tamil Nadu on December 22, 1887. His mathematical genius began to show at a very early age, and soon senior students began to haunt his house for clearing doubts. When he was merely 13 years of age, he mastered a book on trigonometry. So taken by the subject was he that he launched his own research work. He put forward theorems and formulae that had been discovered earlier by great mathematicians but were not covered in the book. The real turning point that triggered off his own creations came 2 years later, when a friend introduced the book Synopsis of Elementary Results in Pure and Applied Mathematics by George Shoobridge Carr to Ramanujam. Where any other person at the age of 15 may have recoiled from the book, Ramanujam became delighted at the introduction. He began solving problems given in the book. With the floodgates now open, ideas began to pour forth. Such was the gush of ideas that Ramanujam found it difficult to write them all down. Can you hazard a guess on the number of papers that Ramanujam required per month for jotting his ideas? 2000. He scribbled his results in lost sheets and notebooks. In fact, before he went abroad for pursuing his studies at the Cambridge University, he had filled 3 notebooks with his jottings, which later came to be known as Ramanujam's Frayed notebooks. Ramanujam's father, a clerk, however, could never fathom the boy's obsession for numbers. Although the boy had secured a first class in his matriculation examination and had also been awarded the Subramanian scholarship, he had failed in his first year college examinations. This was because, being obsessed with mathematics, he had neglected all other subjects. Desiring to bring his mad son back on the course of normalcy, the worried father got him married to a young girl of 8. This put Ramanujam in real dilemma. He needed to find money to support self, wife, and buy paper for his jottings. Oh yes, marriage did not distract him from his magnificent obsession. Driven to desperation, he began reusing papers, now writing on them in blue and rewriting over it in red so as to be able to distinguish between 2 trains of thoughts. Ramanujam approached several offices and applied for a clerical job, displaying his now famous Frayed notebooks and papers and claiming that he was good in mathematics. However, nobody could follow his work and he was turned away. Luckily for him, he came across one Francis Spring, who did seem to understand what was in the notebooks and who appointed him at the Madras Port Trust, where he, Spring, was the director. Soon after, some educationalists took up the cause of Ramanujam, and in May 1913, the University of Madras awarded him a fellowship, although he had no formal degree. In the meantime, Ramanujam had approached the great mathematician G.H. Hardy and presented to him a set of 120 theorems and formulae. A part of it was the Riemann series, a topic in definite integral in calculus. Ignorant of Riemann's original work, Ramanujam had reproduced the work all over again. Yet another intriguing portion of the collection sent to Hardy was Ramanujam's interpretation about the equations called modulars. It was later proved that Ramanujam's conjectures were indeed correct. The collection also included a formulae in hypergeometric series which later came to be named after him. Hardy and his colleague J.E. Littlewood recognized the genius in Ramanujam and made arrangements for him to travel Cambridge University to study. Hardy was amused to find that Ramanujam was an unsystematic mathematician who played with maths much as a child plays with toys. His mathematical truths were not explained and it was left to other mathematicians to prove them. Ramanujam was elected Fellow of the Royal Society in February 1918. He was the second Indian to be honoured with this fellowship and the first Indian to be elected Fellow of the Trinity College, Cambridge. His contributions to the field of mathematics included the Hardy-Ramanujam Littlewood circle method in number theory, Roger Ramanujam's identities in partition of integers, list of highest composite numbers, and some work on the algebra of inequalities and the number theory.